my 90s outfit. Let's talk about it, shall we? Hello. I am so excited for this challenge. I wanted to sort of film it a little bit differently and do the reveal ahead of time and then just kind of break it down. So this was a thrifted shirt, and then I had these overall shorts. If you'll notice, I'm wearing my bibs buckled up on both sides. When I tried to sit down and do this a second ago, I scratched myself and it hurt, so I'm gonna be a 90s nerd, and wear it like this. The thought behind this video is a 1990s summer. This is the first challenge that I've done that I have existed through the entire decade. Now, I was born in the late 80s, but for my 80s video last summer, it was specifically 1986, and I was not born yet. So, for this challenge, I lived the entire 90s. I did the whole entire thing, and I knew that this was going to be a little bit more personal for me, and it was going to be a lot more nostalgic. So the way I looked at it was, okay, how would I have dressed? What did I actually wear in the 90s? And this is pretty close to something that I would have worn. But I also wanted to think it through and figure out what I would have worn as an adult, which I didn't include in that portion of the video, but we'll roll into that in just a second. Before we dive into this, I just want to say thank you for everybody that has followed along on this journey since the beginning, or if you've come along the way, welcome. I wanted to take a moment to say, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at scavenging_around, and I have recently started a Ko-fi page where you can leave me a virtual tip, also under at scavenging_around. Without further ado, let's talk about this 90s look. I loved baggy t-shirts and overall shorts. This was pretty much the only denim you would find me in. My mom had an uphill battle trying to get me to wear denim. I cannot tell you how much I hated denim, and I'm still not the best with it. I hated the seams on it, but because these are so baggy, it doesn't bother me as much. If I wasn't wearing overalls, it would probably be biker shorts. Biker shorts and a baggy shirt. That was like my go-to outfit. Let's talk about the hair of the 90s for me. For me, the first few years of my life, I was convinced that I had to wear my hair. Let's just do this for a second. Okay, so my hair in the 90s, the first beginning portion of the 90s up until probably kindergarten, first grade, my hair more smoothed out because I was really picky about that, but just for your sake, my hair looked like this. Now you're thinking it's a side ponytail. Is that very uncommon? Probably not. But here's the thing. I wanted my hair like this because I wanted my hair to look like my cousin Judy. I don't have a cousin Judy, folks. I don't. Now, who is this Judy? Thank you for asking. I thought Judy Jetson was my cousin. Legitimately thought that Judy Jetson, the cartoon, was my cousin, and that my hair needed to look exactly like hers. Judy Jetson's hair goes like this, but in my brain, in my toddler brain, this is what it was. I don't know why. But this is what I thought her hair looked like. Then I went into elementary school and I could do better. Facts are facts. I could do better. So for like 2 or 3 years, this is pretty common to what you would see. Ready? You ready for this magic? Now, my ponytail doesn't go here. No. I'm going to push it back further, and then this is where the magic happens. You have to push it forward. That's right. For several years after I stopped wearing headbands, I had a small dent in my head because this is where I had my headband. And I never went away from that. And so I probably still have a small dent, but it had to be pushed forward because one of my mom's friends had a teenage daughter and she was what I thought was the epitome of cool. And so I knew that based on how her hair looked. Now, does the rest of this go up? No, it stays flat. Thank you very much. Just the front needs to be bumped. And I thought that was just the epitome of cool. And that is where, that's where I land on all hair topics. And if I wasn't afraid I was going to make this dent in my head worse, I might do this hairstyle a little bit more often, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. But I wanted to also share some of my favorite things about the 90s. What were my favorite go-to things? Favorite movies. I would definitely say that I was obsessed with Wild America, and I'll talk about that in just a second because we'll get to it in a second. But Wild America, I loved Spice World, I loved Twister, and I loved Jurassic Park. I'm trying to think of different things that I would watch Disney movies all the time. And as far as music, I really loved NSYNC. I was an NSYNC girl more so than I was a Backstreet Boys girl. I liked them both, but I was more NSYNC than Backstreet Boys. I loved Britney Spears, and I loved the Spice Girls. I would say that my big 90s crushes were Devon Sawa and Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And when I say Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Devon Sawa, that is probably the main reason why I would watch Wild America on loop, on repeat, and I'm surprised I didn't break the VHS tape. As far as TV shows, I loved Saved by the Bell, which is kind of late 80s, early 90s, but I think it still counts. But I was obsessed with Kelly Kapowski. I just thought that she was the most beautiful person on this planet. I was obsessed with her. And I loved Full House and, Home Improvement because of Jonathan Taylor Thomas, obviously. Let's move on to what I would wear as an adult. So hold on one second. Here's my 90s look as an adult. I really, really like this dress. I wouldn't necessarily seek it out or seek this sort of style out for myself normally, but what I really like about this is that it's linen, so it's nice and cool. I would say that I don't normally choose dresses that are a little bit more form-fitting through here, just because it's something that I get a little bit more self-conscious about. And I definitely don't pick things that stop mid-calf because I'm such a tall person. In my brain, it just looks like I couldn't find a dress that was long enough and it's too small. Like, I usually can't wear like the ankle length pants either for the same reason. It looks like I'm wearing high waters. As an adult, I definitely think that this would have been the style I wore. I wouldn't say, I probably would still have worn a headband. Maybe something a little bit thicker or like velvety. I might have gone for like a shorter hairstyle than what I have right now. I might have gone something a little bit shorter. Not necessarily the Rachel, because I don't have enough hair for that. I think her hair's a lot thicker than mine, but maybe something just a little bit shorter. I think this might be my favorite Decades Challenge so far, just because it's the one that I've lived through. So it's a lot more personal, a lot more nostalgic, and I've been listening to so much 90s music just to kind of like pump myself up for this, and I'm like, dang, there were some hits. Love it. So I just couldn't be any happier to have had the chance to really tackle this one. And this is something, as soon as I finished the 80s challenge last summer, I knew that if I was going to continue this, I needed to do a 90s summer. Looking toward the future, this is the first time coming into the fall autumn season that I don't have a specific decade that I want to do or that I've got something planned for. So if you have an idea for me, go ahead and write that in the comments section if you will, please. And I think that pretty much wraps things up for me here. Thank you so much again for watching and staying with me on this journey, and I can't wait to get back to talking more about my Rocket Man costume and kind of getting into that a little bit more. Until then, I will see you in my next video. Take it easy.